Hey friends, so I am going to bring you along on a winter garden tour. My parents are over, so you might see them in the background, or some chickens, and we're going to head out to the back and we're going to go check out the garden and what it looks like in January. It's January what, 15th today? 16th. I'm going to show some context of where my garden is in relation to my house. This is my back door and I come out this way. My chickens, they're free ranging right now. And so what I do is I come back here, and this is where I have my raised bed garden here. These are piles of wood chips that I've gotten for free, and I've been using those to mulch the garden. You guys, this is a really raw look at the garden. Last weekend it was beautiful because I had cleaned it all up, but I've been letting my chickens free range, and so it's kind of this in-ground bed. They've kind of messed with it a little bit. So here we go. Over here I've got my fig tree. This is where my little orchard is. I really got to prune those trees. I pruned them last year, but they're looking pretty scraggly again. What I'm going to do with this section, I think, this is going to be my winter squash section here. And then my raised bed section is over here. I have 16 raised beds. They're 4 feet by 16 feet. My husband built them for me last year. And then I've mulched the entire area with these free wood chips here. My biggest problem is these trees. They create a lot of shade, so I have to be very careful and strategic on where I plant things because of where the sun is. And so I kind of last year learned a little bit of where I'm going to put things for this year. Over here is where the chicken coop that my husband built me is. And it's kind of messy right now. I gotta clean that out this weekend. And then if we come back here, this section here is where I'm gonna put my corn. I'm gonna try to have a bigger corn patch this year. And then here is my berry section. I've got 3 rows here, 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 and here, and this big patch of berries. I gotta really clean this area out. My berries did okay last year, but this next year one of my goals is to really focus on this area and get a higher yield. I might actually take some of these berries out here and turn those into some other type of bed, but I'm not sure what I'm thinking there yet. These are more of, or just another look, I guess, at my orchard here. I've got an apple tree that didn't produce any apples last year. This is a plum tree, pear, that's an Asian pear tree, Bartlett pear tree, apple, an apple tree. And then heading over here, this is where the previous owner had her garden. I've got right here a few blueberry bushes in this kind of raised bed area. And then over here, this bed is filled with rhubarb. This entire bed will be chock full of rhubarb come early spring. This bed used to be a raised bed with nothing, but the previous owner went ahead and planted a bunch of raspberry canes in there, and that kind of took over last year, and it's actually, they're creeping up into my rhubarb. Here is leeks. I planted these leeks, I think I want to say like in July, and I just come out here and grab a couple leeks when I want them. This bed, I had some potatoes in there that were volunteers. I haven't really done much with this because of these big trees. They don't get very much sun here. And then this is a kiwi plant, but it has never produced fruit in the last 6 years because the kiwi plant, you need a male and female, and I think they're all females or all males. So here's another look of the garden, the raised beds back there that we built, the berries, my chicken coop. I'm going to move that, I think, this weekend to over here where the pumpkin patch is going to be. And then over here is one of my favorite parts. This is my berry patch. I have about 25 blueberries in here, and we got a ton of blueberries last year. I want to take those wood chips and really heavily mulch this area. I haven't done really much with it, fertilizer or anything, since I moved in, and this next year I really want to focus on getting some healthy mulch on these berry plants. If you come from the berry patch section and come across the lawn, my herb bed is over here. I've got my herbs along here closer to the house. I've got some different sages, creeping thyme. I think that's catnip, but I'm not sure. That's a weed, I believe. And then tons of mint and oregano. Little chickens. I do have, which I guess I can show you, I do have some things growing out there. I just left a couple plants out there and they did really well through the winter so far. Today's beautiful. It's like 55 degrees today right now, but I've got my garlic planted. It's my first time growing garlic and it's already sprouted. I don't know if this is normal. I mulched it and there's just a ton of garlic coming out and I don't know if they should be sprouting already, so I'm just gonna let them do their thing and see what happens. I think I planted like over 300 cloves of garlic in here. Down there's elephant garlic, and then I have some soft neck varieties and some hard neck varieties. Hey sweetie. And then I've got over here, that's cilantro that I just left in the ground, and it's completely frozen a couple times and it comes back. And then the rest of the beds are empty, except those were some Brussels sprouts that didn't ever do anything and I just haven't done anything with them. Over here I've got my strawberry bed and asparagus bed. So I planted 50 crowns of asparagus last year. In this bed I've got 25 purple asparagus and 25 Martha Washington asparagus. These are some kales. I'm gonna see what happens with them if they come back. In my zone they should perennialize, but we'll see. And then celery. I had no idea, but celery is extremely cold hardy and it's doing great. You can see I've come out and harvested a couple in here and I'm just letting them hang out. And then this is my in-ground no-till bed here that I am experimenting with. All I did over here is put a layer of cardboard down, a big layer of pretty composted manure, some composted straw, and that's what I used for a potato bed. The seed potatoes I got that I planted in these weren't super great. I got them off like Facebook Marketplace and they were not the best seed potatoes, so they didn't do super well, but I'm just trying to build these beds up. So back in the fall is I put a big pile of leaves in my chickens because I let them free range right now. They kind of messed with it. This actually yesterday I had this all nice and neat. And so I'm excited about this bed. I think I'm also going to try to grow pumpkins along this bed as well, but we'll see how that goes. Thanks for hanging out with me to watch my winter garden tour. I really want to document this so I can follow myself and see how it evolves throughout this season. Sometimes I can get discouraged because I feel like things aren't moving along fast enough. But I know that by documenting this and being able to see the progression, that'll be really encouraging. So thank you for hanging out with me today, and I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time.